Welcome to IMIX Group's webinar on technology paving the way for smarter transportation. Over the next several minutes, we're going to talk about the major changes and drivers shaping this fast-paced and dynamic market. Transportation will be increasingly more connected as part of ongoing efforts to make cities and states smarter. Efficiently moving people throughout a city or region has numerous benefits, environmentally and economically. The environmental impacts of idling cars can wreak havoc on air quality and harm tourist activity through damaging smog and pollution. In areas heavily dependent on tourist activity, this can cause massive economic problems. Cities are connecting transit, working on multimodal systems that facilitate easier and perhaps quicker commute times through mobile applications that allow users to purchase tickets for buses and transit through one streamlined application. State and local governments will be looking to industry to aid in the development of these mobile applications. This more connected environment is driven by increased data sharing practices. Cities are sharing with other cities and the state who's sharing with regional transportation bodies. And there is a multitude of data being collected from the increase in sensors, and all of this data needs to be transmitted, stored, and analyzed before it can be turned into useful interpretations like mobile applications. Connecting the vehicles is only the first step towards more intelligent transportation. Intelligent transportation incorporates automation, and automation can provide immense benefits from environmental stewardship to safety, which is why many state and local governments look at automation as a significant component of their future infrastructure. Now, the linchpin in this future is that very infrastructure, though. The technology is already being tested for driverless cars and trucks, but the technology outside the vehicle is just as important as what's being tested inside. Our roadways, by and large, are not ready for autonomous vehicles. They don't possess those sensors and IoT technology that enable vehicle-to-infrastructure communication, vital to making sure those autonomous vehicles know when to stop, how fast to go, etc. That's why these pilot programs, such as the Connected Vehicle Pilot, are so crucial. The state of Wyoming, New York City, and the city of Tampa, Florida were all awarded grants as part of the Connected Vehicle Pilot to help develop the necessary infrastructure to support autonomous vehicles. And you can expect many more small-scale pilot programs such as these three to roll out slowly across the country, and you should be monitoring these. We would be remiss if we didn't discuss the issues that state and local governments are tackling as they work to make their transportation more intelligent. Privacy and security are definitely top of mind for government. In the maze of sensors and networks, how do they ensure all of those endpoints remain secure? Not only do they need to make sure their own endpoints and sensors aren't vulnerable to attacks, they need to ensure that the sensors accessing their networks through our newly connected vehicles aren't compromising security. Now, the debate on who should actually regulate cybersecurity for connected cars is growing, but in general, regulations are inconsistent from state to state. For now, the best approach is going to be working closely with these state and local governments in their pilot and research phases and work to develop the industry regulations and standards for the technology. One of the biggest barriers to growth in this segment is funding. Continued federal funding and the possibility of a new infrastructure bill are still up in the air, and with state and local governments experiencing declining revenues, funding future projects is becoming a tricky situation. The lack of adequate funding is highlighted by the fact that most governments just have an aging physical infrastructure. Roads, highways, and bridges have consistently earned failing grades nationwide from independent assessors, and state and local governments have to decide where to allocate their funds. Fixing roadways for today or investing in roadways for tomorrow. California, being as large as a state as it is, operates and maintains thousands of highway and road miles. And operating and maintaining that many miles comes with an expensive price tag, one that isn't 100% attainable. California budgetary woes are no secret and is a driving force behind their current strategy of Fix It First. This means that California will be preserving existing infrastructure rather than adding or building new infrastructure. And with limited resources, California must make its existing system as productive and efficient as possible, moving as much cargo and traffic through its network of systems as it can. California's 2040 plan tackles this concept by focusing on ways to improve overall transit, highways, and roads in a joint strategy rather than independently, but all with a mind towards reducing greenhouse gas emissions. This fix-it-first strategy that incorporates multimodal corridor management will require state and local governments to utilize their existing networks and broadband access to deploy those new sensors and IoT technology. Meaning, the new sensors and technology need to be flexible and compatible across platforms. Sensors and databases that leverage cloud-based technology management will do well in this area, as they enable governments to have autonomy and achieve optimal data sharing without the complicated back-end infrastructure. What this means for you is that you should focus on ways your solution will work with their existing and legacy infrastructure and propose modular solutions that provide upgrades gradually. In order to diversify their economy and maintain their automotive dominance, Michigan has developed several different testing centers in the hopes of becoming the center for automotive mobility technology. They've established projects that are ripe with opportunity for you, the technology community, through the requirements for networking, Wi-Fi and broadband, sensors and IoT, and data analysis. In order to prove the technologies and concepts being tested here in Michigan, they will need to analyze their data, and given the large amounts of data points being collected, analytics technologies will be well received here. The good news is that these testing centers have the support of the Michigan legislature. This support can mean less barriers to adoption of the technology and help speed implementation. The legislature would like to operationalize these technologies, and the sooner these technologies are operationalized, the sooner they can have a positive impact on Michigan's automotive industry. In a similar fashion to California, Michigan is also developing mobile applications that would enable users to holistically see the transportation options available to them and purchase necessary tickets. For vendors, this means that in addition to the networking and data analysis, Michigan's testing centers will also be in search of mobile application development and the requisite mobile application platforms to develop the applications. That's right. For actionable intelligence on the state, local, and education markets, don't hesitate to reach out to our market intelligence team. Thank you.